been bitten. Of course, after 40-something years, things will happen. And 99% of the time it's my fault. Steve Earle would tell you the same thing, and other folks as well. These things happen, but there are comfort zones, everybody. If you just think about it, there's a comfort zone that you have when you're watching a wild animal and a comfort zone of the animal. And when you cross into each other's comfort zone, that's when a train wreck happens. That's when problems happen, all right? It's like in Glacier when you see a person, when that exercise is trying to get real close and get that perfect picture of that grizzly with the cubs. Well, that's not too wise to get between me and that exercise right there if they run a football field in 6 seconds. So what you do is you get your good picture, but just take your distance and let that animal have his distance. That's just a rule of thumb I have. Is, you know, when you go visit someone's home and have dinner, you show respect to that person. And usually that works. And if it doesn't work, I mean, you know, okay, no, it should work. That's what I kind of live by. But that bear is doing well, as I said before. Also, I won't go into the whole thing about my wife and I don't like the word attacked. But last summer we had a bear encounter after I don't know how many years. And you need to know, most of you know, that last year somehow our government said that it was okay to carry firearms or pistols. I'm not sure what the rule is, but it is a firearm or pistol. And I'm not against weapons, by the way. That you can carry them into the national parks. I think it's a big mistake. If you think you're going to carry a pistol, that's going to protect you from a grizzly bear, you've got another thought coming. You can ask any of these officers over here, anybody has a pistol. I was in the Army, I was trained with a pistol for several weeks. I'm not going to hit the broadside of a barn. Especially when you have a pistol and you have a grizzly. You know, they got a pretty thick skull, the thickest thing animal in nature. So you got to really know what you're doing. But if you carry this stuff right here, everybody, you'll find out what happened to my wife and I last year. It saved, I won't say saved a life. It saved me and the lady right there in the red shirt. That's about as close as the bear got. And I unloaded this right in his face, and it works. It usually works every time. So people tell you it doesn't work. When you talk to rangers in most of the parks, it does work. We've carried this with us over 25 years. Never had to use it whatsoever until last summer. So again, don't worry about it. It's like getting hit by lightning. When you go out as much as I do with animals, that's the first time it ever happened. So we were right back up there hiking again the very next day. And bear spray like this, people, well, what's it like? My wife said not to do this, so that's why I'm going to do it. I'm just kidding. Thanks for the water. Anyway, what you saw, I'll shoot it back this way, like this way. It's mainly the blast that kind of even scares the grizzly or whatever animal it is in the first place. But this, oh, by the way, no chemical in this, by the way. If that did have chemical in it, you'd all be out here right now. But that's what you carry, everybody. It's all simple bear spray. You need help with these animals. This next creature, roll up here. This is a Homo sapien, about 6 foot tall. When I say favorite, I have a lot of favorite animals, but the owls are an incredible creature. Again, if you ever do a game show someday and someone's asking the question, what animal is found on every continent in the world except Antarctica? One species of animal is found on every continent in the world except Antarctica, one, and that's the species of owl. It's amazing, this animal. All owls in this country are protected species. This is the great horned owl we have right here, and the owl is called the bird of silent flight. If that owl were to fly over your heads in 2 inches, you would never hear one thing, nothing. If a bird of prey or a parrot or something fly over your head, or a goose, whatever it might be, you hear them flapping their wings and everything else. Not this bird here. It's just as silent as it can be. It's mainly hollow bones and just feathers. And notice how the owl turns his head right this one here. All owls turn their heads because you can look, if you get your eyeballs, you want to look up or down or sideways. You don't have to move your head. You can look all over the place without moving your head. The owl's eyes are so big in his sockets that he cannot do that. He has to move his entire head because he can't move his eyes inside of his socket. Even though the owl's brain, see there? Even though the owl's brain is very small, why they call it the wise old owl is because of his senses, his eyesight, his hearing, his smell. The senses are phenomenal. His eyesight's 5 to 10 times greater than yours, but he can also hunt in total darkness. His ears, which are not located up, they'll show you where they are, down in there. They're not up where these tufts are. The owl's ears are in here. They're like a cereal bowl, like a soup bowl. They're like facing like a big old bowl like this, shaping out. And they can hear anything. Even scientists are still studying the owl to find out the hearing, how well they hear. If you put 2 mice in here tonight, just 2 mice in this room here, lights out, put 2 wild owls in here, those mice will go home by the morning. Just by hunting them with echolocation, not even seeing the birds. They also have talons. We'll talk about talons here in just a second. This one over here is one of the smallest owls in the world. That's a screech owl. I'm sorry I'm talking so long, so I know he weighs about, what, 5 pounds? No. This owl here doesn't quite weigh 17 ounces or something. They're mostly feathers, as I said before. But that's a little screech owl. What it eats is a lot of insects, little creatures like that. Maybe little frogs, whatever it might be. Then you have the burrowing owl. My understanding is I've not seen one, but pretty small creature, almost as small as that, even a little bit smaller than the beautiful screech owl. Again, these owls here, probably most of them, a lot of them are hit at nighttime by automobiles, because the owls are always swooping around the roads, looking for all sorts of creatures that might be around the highways. Thank you so much for bringing the beautiful owls here. I love those animals. I had about 12 squirrels in my yard in Ohio. 12 squirrels I have. And each squirrel got 2 owls. This right here, everyone is a magnificent animal. I don't see that many of them. Maybe you do. It's the golden eagle, one of the largest predatory birds in the world. It's a beautiful animal, isn't it? Unbelievable. It's quite large, as you can see. Our Alaskan bald eagle is not quite that big. The Florida American bald eagle is about half that size, the Florida bald eagle. The Alaskan bald eagle is quite large. You look at those talons on this animal. Look at the feet. If you could go show the feet a second. Look at those things. Now, an Alaskan bald eagle has about 1,000 pounds of pressure per square inch on those talons. I imagine this bird's probably a little bit better than that. Therefore, if he didn't have that glove on, it'd go through his skin, his muscle, break his bone in a split second. But that's not what they do. They're not going to come down and grab something. This animal here, those birds can come down. They say get small deer. It could be dogs, whatever it might be, small ones. This animal is a very pretty powerful creature. They also, people don't realize, they think of a bald eagle or the golden eagle as an animal, it's like, for example, like the peregrine falcon. They like something alive, all right? Even the Harris hawk, even the red-tailed hawk. Many live creatures they eat. Not these animals here. They're just almost like a buzzard at times. Have you ever seen them? I'm sure you've seen them in the fields here, maybe. They're sitting there on the carcass of like a dead cow or an elk or a deer hit by a car. That's what the animals do. That's what they do. They're not some animals just go out there and look. As far as you, an American bald eagle, if you want to see something in Orlando, Florida, Disney or something, and if you're interested in birds, in Macon, Florida, right outside of Orlando, there's an eagle nest there. Been there for about 40 years. It's the size of a Volkswagen and weighs almost 2 tons. And birds have been going back to it every year. This thing is huge. It's amazing to see. They're monogamous. They mate for life. The eagles do. They usually lay 1 to 2 eggs. In Columbus, Ohio, at our zoo, our eggs, we do what we call double clutching. Or we'll take the 2 eggs the minute they're laid by the bald eagle. Usually they'll lay again. Those 2 eggs are taken up to Lake Erie, where you put them under a wild nest. With the biologists up there know where these birds are. They haven't laid yet. They'll put 2 of our eggs underneath there, and it's amazing what's happened. In 1978, in Columbus, Ohio, in '78, we had 5 nesting pairs of bald eagles in Lake Erie in 1978. Today we have 179, I think it is. So you see what's happening to our national bird there. Thank you to clap for all for your South for bringing our national bird back. It's an incredible story, it really is. But I don't know how anybody couldn't get excited about seeing this bird here. I don't know what happened to this bird. Hit by a car. So thanks to these folks here, this wonderful sanctuary in Phoenix for bringing these birds out here tonight. Let's give them a round of applause. It's something that obviously these birds, by the way, when they're first, they're just little old puffballs. These are baby mountain lions, hula cougar. Remember that, hula cougar or mountain lion. Oh, this guy right here, Brady, for he's what does the mountain lion stuff here in the park. He's going to take your 2 mountain lions and let them loose them. A lot of the animals with gray hair are either confiscated, like a lot of these sanctuaries. You never know what can happen. Some people try to have these as pets. That's a fatal thing that's going to happen right there. Anybody knows about the mountain lion or the cougar? Folks, it's one of the most elusive cats in the world, all right? Now you see a lot of animals. By the way, the mountain lion is still hunted in some states. But a lot of times when you see people filming the mountain lion or whatever, they do this with dogs. They track the animals with dogs. I've told buddies of mine, I said, I'll tell you what, you put the dog aside, and I'll go ahead and give you 1 whole day and go find me a mountain lion. It ain't going to be done. It's one of the most elusive cats in the world. Yes, this young man here. You didn't have a radio collar to do the research they do. You're so lucky if you even see a mountain lion. I've only seen once, just barely, and once maybe for 2 seconds, I saw a huge mountain lion coming out of a mountain in Montana. But these still have the spots on them. As you can see, they're border spots all over them. And the mountain lion is a solitary cat, everyone. The African lion is very social. The tiger, the leopard, the jaguar, the ocelot, I can go on and on. The snow leopard are all solitary cats, as well as the mountain lion. They say the mountain lion has some of the greatest, if not the greatest, leaping ability. That's what I've heard of any cat in the world. They say they can leap 30 to 40 feet. But camouflage-wise, when these animals are full-grown, with that brown color, especially in this canyon, I don't know how you make it ever see one, unless you're with somebody that really knows what's going on. When she has her babies, everybody, the male is not there. If he was there, he would destroy the babies. But they are quite cute, as you can see. The mother, they stay with the mom. I'm not sure, is it 1 or 2 years these cats here? I'm not quite sure. 1.5 to 2 years. The cheetah is 3 to 4 years. The babies stay with them. All right. Lions obviously stay in a pride somewhere. But you know, it's so nice and great. He has to drive back to Phoenix tonight. But I just wanted you all to see what this area is really known for. You have elk here, you have deer here. So obviously you have something for the animals, some food here. All right. So this is an incredible animal you have here at the Grand Canyon. It's an incredible creature, and one that I hope it stays around a long time. Now, I was asked a question in the last speech about hunting of the mountain lion. The mountain lion, everyone, you have to understand something. The Game and Fish Commission, usually at each state, will decide that, all right? Because of the balance of nature, what has happened in the animal world, obviously the mountain lion has to be hunted in some states. In a few weeks, obviously we know about the wolf, don't we? Have you heard about the wolf being back hunting again 2 or 3 weeks ago? They're siblings, right? Let's hear for Grace Stafford before he starts getting eaten here. Anyway, just in case I ask that question again, because you'll be hearing about it a lot in the news here in the next few weeks. I don't hunt. As a boy in Tennessee, I did hunt. I don't hunt today. But hunters are very important into our ecosystem to everyone because of the balance of nature again. And the wolf, for example, went into Yellowstone in 1994. As you know, we put 20-something wolves in there. And now they've multiplied much faster than anybody had ever thought. But remember one thing, Yellowstone is the ecosystem that is surrounded by ranches. All right? Total ranches around Yellowstone. These wolves can go 40 miles a day. They came back way more than we thought. Even in Montana, in Idaho, Wyoming, the same thing. Now it's up to the states to decide what's going to be hunted, and they will hunt the wolf. Could I ever kill a wolf? I couldn't even begin to do anything to a wolf, or a cougar, or a mountain lion. But what will happen, everyone, you need to understand something, hear these debates. If the wolf today is not like the wolf 20 years ago, the wolves were most elusive creatures just like the mountain lion 20 years ago. Today they might sit on the hillside and be looking at cattle or elk or whatever it might be, not doing anything wrong. And by the way, a wolf has never killed a person in the history of this country, all right? Never, so far. But with the wolves coming back the way they are in Montana and these other states, what's going to happen if the population continues without the hunting, someone's going to get either very badly hurt, or there's no doubt in my mind killed. That could be a child or an adult. When that happens, everyone, think about one thing. The wolves will be gone forever. These states will take them out overnight. And that's not what I want to see for my kids or my grandkids. So again, it's like deer or elk or whatever it might be, that they have to be controlled. And no one loves animals more than me, trust me. After 50, my wife and I, after 50 years of doing this, I just want you to know what the basic facts are so you'll understand about what's going to take place here in a few months. But I did want to show you one more video here, and I'll take a few questions. This video here, I've only shown you one other group. I didn't show the other group this earlier today, but I thought I'd do this. It's just nighttime, and who cares? It's late. I don't know where y'all are going tomorrow. Oh, wait, tomorrow's Mother's Day, isn't it? Happy Mother's Day. How about that? Yep. Anyway, this next video is a blooper tape, all right? These are bloopers from like the David Letterman show in 1985, where I tried to teach him how to go. It didn't go too well. You see other things where I have no hair left, okay? So enjoy these bloopers here, and I'd like to take a few questions. Go ahead and roll the blooper tape, and I don't really like watching this stuff. We'll roll this and see what happens. Working with animals isn't always easy. I've been sliced, diced, poked, punched, scratched, and licked. Here's some more examples.
Stingrays are another cousin of the shark, and almost as feared. They're called devilfish and bat rays. They also cause them one of the most severe fish stings to man, but that's not enough to stop me from swimming with them.
I don't know what it is, but animals are always in my hair.
Oh, Vinny, don't do that. Not a dead Oh, hey! Some vultures
animals have no table manners.
Well, I'm starving.
All right. Hey, here's the Chuck Norris of birds. After all, look at a bird in the name.
This took me to the hospital, this person had.
I used to be quick.
Well, that's a male camelback in good condition. He's kind of showing off and marking his territory by laying his tongue out and making those weird sounds.
I gotta go to dinner there.
I guess so.
His formula. Ready? Formula VO5. Special times in the city. It only happens once, whether it's with animals or human beings. Don't you laugh? So take the time and enjoy these moments because there's nothing more precious than a baby. I hear it. No, but I just want to do it. Childhood is a special time, right? Childhood is a special time. Especially for Childhood is a special time that only happens once, whether it's with animals or human beings. So take the time and enjoy those moments because there's nothing more precious than a baby.
He pulls my hair out. This is in Africa about 25 years ago. We had a lion out there. I can't find the lion.
I think the winner. Just a month ago, luckily for him, his mother took care of him, so he had to go there. He's only up to the hospital.
Oh, about 4,000. 4,000?
That's good.
How much money?
That's my milk bucket. That's my milk bucket right there.
Yeah, you know, I'm not that hungry anymore.
Oh, God. I'll take care of it.
Well, of course you'll take care of it.
Listen, you don't really care. There's a baby squirrel, but you might not care anymore.
About what? A baby squirrel?
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, that's a squirrel. Yeah.
Anyway, this is a squirrel, and what I want to do is, you ever go to the goat?
All right, well, we need someone to visit in here.
Just don't
Get
step
an air wick or something?
Dave, here, I want you to do this. Just don't step in. Look at this here. Come here, I want you to come here and get on the team.
No, I mean,
I'm sorry. See, Dave, don't go on.
Jack, you're 100% sure that's a female?
See, this was for the milk. I got it going. Come here. I got it going.
All right, well,
What you do is you grab onto the sack, and then you pull down a piece. Look here, this, Greg. See how I'm doing it? Pull and push.
Yeah.
Just pull and push.
I can do this.
Okay.
And you won't find more sanitary conditions either.
That's it. You pull up in there and then you let go with the other. That's it. Can you feel it? I mean, can you feel it?
I can't feel it.
not having any luck. I think we're about done there. Always liquid in the mouth is all they care.
I did not mean to do this.
It's the Three Stooges. It's the zoo director. Now you've done it again. I gotta go. Want to see the squirrel? I don't want to see anything else. I want to see anything else. We have one more minute, Jack. I'm going to think of something to do to you in that minute.
When I was on the farm, I was raising a farm, you don't ever suck off the nostril. You just drink off, don't ever suck off the nostril. Think about how, when you share something with somebody, you don't lick all over the end of it. You know, some of my closest friends are animals. That's because they take me as I am and mess it up. These don't mess it up, right? So I can have a drink. Peanut, hey, well, don't stick with peanuts. When you have a drink. And she turned the spigot off, though. You mind turning the spigot back on for me? I have not had a drink. Animals have taught me something very important. Having fun is the best part of being alive. It's a peanut.
Fortunate I've been, hopefully a lot of you have the love I have for the animal world. Animals are something, we can always learn something from the animal world, everyone really can. And that's what I've learned as I've traveled the world and filmed animals. We just got back, matter of fact, from Malaysia, filming these orangs in the wild. They're very, very threatened over there. Most of them are all endangered, some from palm oil plantations, certain things like that, but they're a phenomenal creature as well. Let's have a round of applause for the Wildlife World Zoo. I'll take a few questions, just be careful of, I know there's elk and deer, I'm not telling you anything if you live here. I wouldn't want you to hit one of those animals, but who's got a question to you? Anything you might want to ask? Yes, sir. All right. It's almost like a race car driver. When they have a wreck, you know that's something, and you can leave, by the way, those of you, it's not going to embarrass me if you have to leave with the family or something. As far as a serious injury, I've almost lost these two fingers to an anaconda. Because I wasn't paying attention, helped the guys on Wild Kingdom in 1972. I didn't know anything about snakes. I was just sitting there holding the box, or actually holding the snake with a buddy of mine. It was like 19 feet long. Anaconda's like a python. They have about 200 teeth shaped like fish hooks. So once a python or anaconda bites you, like this, or whatever it is, they cannot let go. It's one of the few animals in nature. Most animals can bite and let go. They can't because their mouth freezes, their jaw muscles freeze. It takes about a half hour to 45 minutes for them to relax their jaw muscles and let go. Obviously, I used to weigh 220. I wasn't worried about getting eaten by the anaconda. I thought these two fingers were gone. It's amazing the power of it. I didn't feel a thing. I thought they were gone. I tried to go like this. The guy says, don't do that. You know, you have to wait about 30 minutes. I said, you're nuts. But sure enough, thank God he was there. He held my hand. And sure enough, it was a bloody mess when I got my hand out. That's the thing. I've been bitten in the neck by a tree bull. I've had a rhino charges, but we weren't even near the thing. I don't know why I didn't back our Jeep. I've had several things happen. I was in a two-man submarine at about 800 feet. Things started leaking. That was terrible. But just little things like that. But a lot of the areas when there's loss, we've had men in helicopters, hang gliders over the Great Victoria Falls that wrecked 1 week after I was there. Another guy wrecked 1 week I was up with him. So a lot of things are with mechanical, not just with the animals. But I try and live by what I said, and that's with respect. I'm not saying nothing ever happened to me. I'm just saying, you've got to, with what all I do, I just try and bring the animal world to it in the same way. I try to do. I know I've been to answer your question, but I still have some story to tell you. I'm sure some of these guys do, but I know. Yes? Where do you find a jackalope? Is that what he said? I had a buddy give me one. Mine's at home in a bucket or somewhere. I didn't know where it is. Once I found out it wasn't real. It's not real, is it? No, I know it's not. That's it. You know that's a funny thing. You know that, right? It's a joke. Yeah. You don't have to guys got a question? Yes, ma'am. It just fell over backwards and went away, yes. Because it was a male 2-year-old, about 200 pounds, trying to test, and he hadn't tested anybody yet, saying. The mother was getting ready to dump him. She hasn't up until the fall, then at 2 years old, she wants to get rid of him. And so this was a female younger with her, but the male was going to take me on, that's all. Right, September 1st, that's okay. Again, I've been there for 20-something. It'll never happen to you, trust me. Now watch it. Anybody got a question in here? Yes?
Child, pet animals.
Oh yeah, a lot of animals. I put ducks in my bathtub. You don't know what I had goats. Even when I was 18, I tried to get a baby elephant. And I did in Florida. I took our farm. My dad's had dairy cattle. I took a stall apart and built it for an elephant. He was on vacation. He came back 2 days early. And went around the farm and saw that going on up there. It's the only time my dad ever said no to me as far as animals. And boy, he was right. I didn't realize I got to be about 6 tons. Yes? Other what? Oh, copy. Oh, copies, yeah, in the Congo. Exactly, it's a copy, right? Some people may tell you they know, they really don't. There might be less than 1,000, there might be 2,000, but I can tell you now, the Bengal tiger is a perfect example. You know the beautiful Bengal tiger? Up until about last year, we thought there were about 5,000 Bengal tigers left. We finally did a census after 3 years of studying them, there's 1,400 of them. Bengal tiger could be going extinct in our lifetime, which is very, very tragic. Yes, ma'am?
The difference between humans, we live on medications and having our doctors, with the animal life, how do they cope with no medication?
Wild animals?
Yes.
Well, I don't know much about that, but the point is, look at people and what all we have to have now, the inoculations. It's triples since I was a little boy. I mean, I don't know what all we have to have now. It's everything in the world. And so sometimes, how I feel sometimes is, the more some of these animals in the zoological world, the more some zoos would not expose them to anything. My feeling is the more you expose them to, the more antibodies that they have. It's exposure, I guess. There's no doubt you have to have shots. I don't take my wife and I shots now, malaria pills. I'm not saying you should not do it. You should if you're going to Africa or some of these countries, Borneo for the first time, because you'll get malaria. But after a while, we can't keep going back and take the pills or we're going to have a liver left. So we just try and do the right thing. Keep covered up, keep gloves on your hands, use your spray, that type of thing. But yeah, same things will happen. But that's the hard lesson. I'm sure in today's environment with dogs, cats, everything else, these wild animals have it rougher than they had, 200 years ago. Yes, ma'am.
What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal? My dog, that's right. My beautiful wife. I should tell you the story. I can tell you the story about when I tried to get my wife to breastfeed a chimpanzee once, a baby chimpanzee. That's a story. But she said no, so don't worry about it. What'd you ask me? My favorite animal. I love all that. I'm fascinated by elephants. The big cats, the dolphins, the whales. I can go on and on for you. The snakes fascinate me as well. I have birds. I can't answer that question. That sounds terrible, but once you do as much as I do, they're all fascinating. This guy, then this guy, then again. Yes.
What percentage of animals in zoos are actually?
Yeah, very good question. Some zoos may tell you that that's why we have zoos, is to release animals back in the wild. That's not correct, because the wild, folks, is not what everybody thinks it is anymore. You all know that. It can't be. The wild's not what this was, right? You just can't take animals, as you know, and just throw them back out in the wild. It takes years of work. For example, our bald eagles, let's say. If we raise a American bald eagle in the zoo, we know that we're going to do these bald eagles released in the wild. The minute they're hatched, the minute the mom, if we start feeding them, we feed them with pulleys where they've never seen another person. Some of these cranes that are very endangered. We have a puppet that feeds them. And then those are animals that go back in the wild. They cannot have any human contact whatsoever when we start doing this. But now we have the frozen zoo. By the way, 3 zoos in our country where tens of thousands of animals. I'm not talking about cloning. I'm talking about the semen, the sperm, the eggs of a lot of these animals are in little test tubes in San Diego, down in New Orleans, and in Cincinnati, called the frozen zoo. And that's what, we can't, folks, save everything. We don't have the room in the zoos in this country. Remember, I can't remember the acreage, all the 222 zoos put together in this country, we fit in a very, very small area, you wouldn't believe it. So we do the best we can to do one thing, everyone, in the zoological world, that's to educate, not conservation. People tell you that's our number one, it's not. You cannot have conservation to have education. You have to be educated first, like we do in third world countries, in our country, educate people. And then you leave that zoo with one word, that's love, all right? L-O-V, you have to love something to save something. That's what we're trying to teach in our zoological parks throughout this country. I'll take one more question, yes.
You used to work with Marlon Perkins?
Do what?
Marlon Perkins?
Yeah, Marlon Perkins is gone now. He was a guy that started as you know, the animals on TV. His wife's a little over 100 years old now, and was a tremendous man. He was a tremendous zoologist at the St. Louis Zoo in Chicago, and just brought the animal world out to all of us. But again, I know I'd sit here, I'd take questions all night long, but I got an early flight tomorrow, and we head back to Africa on Thursday, and then I got to get back to Columbus, Ohio for speeches Monday and Tuesday. But thank you all for watching our show, and thank you for listening.
We wanted to say once again, thanks so much to Jack for being here and also for all of our wildlife handlers. I think they all deserve another round of applause.